You think your best years are over. You think the good times are behind you. You think everything from here is just decline, just getting older, just getting weaker, just waiting. I don't agree. I think your best years might be ahead of you, might be right now. If you're over 60 and wonder if life can still be good, comment best below. I'm recording this because I hear this all the time. Older people saying their best years are behind them, saying they're past their prime, saying life was better when they were young, when they were strong, when they had energy, when they had their whole life ahead of them. And I understand why people think this. Society tells you this. Media tells you this. Even your own body tells you this sometimes. Everything says, you're old now. The good part is over. Just accept decline. Just wait for the end. But I don't believe that. I think that's wrong. I think older years can be the best years. Not in spite of being older, because of being older, because of what age brings, what wisdom brings, what experience brings. I understand the feeling. You look back at your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. You were strong then, had energy, could work all day, could stay up late, could do physical things easily. Your body worked better, didn't hurt, didn't tire, didn't fail you. You had possibilities then, could choose different careers, could start over, could change everything. The future was open, full of potential, full of could be, full of dreams that might come true. You had youth. People paid attention to you, valued you, wanted you around. You mattered, you were important, you were the future. Society cared what you thought, what you did, what you wanted. Now you're older, body doesn't work the same, hurts more, tires easier, can't do what you used to do, and that feels like loss, feels like decline, feels like the best part is over. Possibilities seem limited. Career is over or ending. Can't start over, can't change everything. Future feels shorter, feels limited, feels like less is possible. Less is coming, less is ahead. Society treats you differently, like you're less relevant, less important, like your opinions don't matter as much, like you're from a different time, like you're in the way, instead of being the future. I understand all of that. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not saying those feelings are wrong, but I am saying there's another way to look at it, another truth that's just as real, just as important. Age brings wisdom, real wisdom, not just knowledge, not just information, but understanding. Understanding what matters, what doesn't, what's worth your time, what's worth your energy, what's worth caring about. When you're young, you worry about everything, what people think, what you look like, what you achieve, what you own, what you prove. Everything feels important, everything feels urgent. Everything demands your attention. When you're older, you know better. You know most things don't matter. Most worries are wasted. Most stress is unnecessary. You know what actually matters. Family, health, relationships, simple pleasures. Everything else is just noise. That wisdom is valuable, more valuable than youth, more valuable than energy, more valuable than possibilities. Because wisdom helps you live well, live right, live in ways that actually bring happiness instead of just chasing things you think will bring happiness. Age brings freedom, real freedom. Freedom you didn't have when you were young, even if you thought you did. When you're young, you're not free. You're trapped by expectations, by what you should do, should achieve, should become. You're working for your future, building your career, raising your family, proving yourself. You can't just live. You have to build, have to achieve, have to become something. When you're older, that's done. Career is over. Children are raised. House is paid for. You've already become what you became, already achieved what you achieved, already proved what you proved. Now you can just live. You can do what you want, not what you should do, not what others expect, not what builds your future, what you actually want, what you actually enjoy. What makes you actually happy right now, instead of setting up happiness later. That's freedom, real freedom. Freedom to spend your time how you choose, to pursue interests that don't lead anywhere, to do things just because you enjoy them, to live for today instead of always preparing for tomorrow. When you're young, everything is uncertain. Will your career work out? Will your marriage last? Will your children be okay? Will you have enough money? Will you be successful? Will you be happy? Everything is unknown. Everything is ahead. Everything could go wrong. That uncertainty creates constant worry, constant stress, constant anxiety about the future, about whether things will work out, whether you'll be okay, whether life will turn out the way you hope. When you're older, most things are known. Your career worked out or it didn't. Your marriage lasted or it didn't. Your children turned out okay, or they have their own struggles. You have enough money or you're managing. You achieved some things and didn't achieve others. Life turned out some way, a specific way, your way. And knowing that, having that certainty, brings peace. You're not wondering anymore, not worrying about how things will turn out. They already turned out. This is how, this is your life. And you can either accept it or spend your remaining time being unhappy about it. Most people eventually choose acceptance, and acceptance brings peace. Young relationships are exciting, new, full of discovery, full of possibility, full of intensity. But they're not deep, not yet. They don't have history, don't have decades, don't have the depth that only time can create. Old relationships are deep. Your spouse of 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, you know each other completely. You've been through everything together, good times, bad times, struggles, joys, losses, victories, everything. That creates depth no new relationship can have. Old friendships are deep. Friends you've known since school, since starting out, since becoming adults together. You've watched each other's lives unfold. You've been there for each other. You share history, share memories, share understanding that doesn't need words. These deep relationships are more valuable than new ones, more satisfying, more comforting, more real. You're known, really known. By people who've seen you at your best and your worst and love you anyway. That's rare, that's precious. That's what older years give you that young years can't. When you're young, your time isn't yours, it belongs to your job, your career, your children, your mortgage, your responsibilities. You're busy, constantly busy, doing things you have to do, things you should do, things other people need you to do. You tell yourself, someday I'll have time, someday I'll pursue my interests, someday I'll do what I want, after I finish building my career, after my children are grown, after I pay off the house, someday, later, when responsibilities allow. When you're older, someday is now, your time is yours, children are grown, career is over, mortgage is paid, you can do what you want, finally. Actually, not someday. Now, you can learn things just because they interest you, can pursue hobbies that don't earn money, can travel if you want, can stay home if you want, can spend your days however you choose. Not building towards something, not preparing for something, just living, just enjoying, just being. That's what you worked for, what all those years of responsibility were building toward. This time, this freedom, this ability to finally live for yourself, to finally do what you want, to finally have time that's yours. When you're young, you have so many days ahead, thousands of days, tens of thousands of days, so many that individual days don't seem to matter much. You waste them, spend them carelessly. Assume there will always be more, always be tomorrow, always be time. When you're older, you have fewer days. You know this, you feel this, and that makes each day matter more. Each day becomes precious, valuable, not to be wasted. Not to be spent carelessly, to be lived, actually lived, appreciated, experienced. This changes everything, makes sunsets more beautiful, makes conversations more meaningful, makes simple pleasures more satisfying. Because you know, this day is limited, this moment is limited, this time is limited, so you pay attention, you appreciate, you live fully instead of just moving through days towards some future goal. Young people talk about living in the moment, about being present, about appreciating life, but they struggle to actually do it, because they have so many moments ahead, so much life ahead. It's hard to appreciate what feels endless. Older people don't have to try. They know moments are limited, no life is limited, no time is running out, and that knowledge, that awareness, makes every moment more intense, more real, more alive, more appreciated. That's not sad, that's not depressing. That's what makes older years potentially richer than young years, more vivid, more experienced, more lived. So, when I say your best years might be ahead, I don't mean you'll be young again. Don't mean your body will stop aging. Don't mean everything will be perfect. I mean something different. I mean, you have wisdom now that you didn't have before, understanding that makes life better, clearer, more focused on what actually matters. You have freedom now that you didn't have before. Freedom to live for yourself, to pursue what interests you, to spend your time how you choose. You have less worry now than you had before, less uncertainty, less stress about the future, more peace, more acceptance, more calm. You have deeper relationships now than you had before, relationships with history, with depth, with real knowing, with real love. You have time for yourself now that you didn't have before, time to do what you want, what you enjoy, what makes you happy, not what you have to do, what you want to do. And you appreciate each day more than you did before, because you know days are limited, no time is precious, no life is finite, and that makes life richer, more intense, more fully lived. These things, wisdom, freedom, peace, deep relationships, time for yourself, appreciation, these might be more valuable than youth, than energy, than possibilities. These might be what actually makes life good, actually makes years the best years. I'm not saying older years are automatically the best years. They're not. Some people get older and get bitter, get angry, get focused on what they've lost instead of what they have. Get stuck in regret, in resentment, in wishing things were different. Those people don't have good years, don't enjoy aging, don't find value in what age brings. They're too busy mourning youth to appreciate wisdom, too busy resenting limitations to enjoy freedom, too busy looking backward to live in the present. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose differently, can choose to see what age brings instead of only seeing what it takes, can choose to value wisdom, to use freedom, to enjoy peace, to deepen relationships, to appreciate each day. That choice makes the difference between older years being the best years or the worst years, between aging being something that enriches life or something that ruins it, between wisdom or bitterness, between peace or resentment, between appreciation or regret. Stop thinking your best years are behind you. Stop believing the only good part was youth. Stop waiting for life to be over. Stop acting like everything good has already happened. Start using your wisdom. Start making choices based on what you actually know matters. Stop wasting time on things you know don't matter. Stop worrying about things you know aren't worth worrying about. Start using your freedom. Start doing things you want to do. Start pursuing interests. Start spending time on what makes you happy. Stop living like you're still preparing for some future that's already here. Start appreciating peace. Stop fighting against certainty. Stop wishing things were different. Accept what is. Accept your life. Accept yourself. Find peace in what is instead of constant dissatisfaction with what isn't. Start deepening relationships. Spend time with people you love, people who know you, people who matter. Stop wasting time on shallow connections, on people who don't really know you, on relationships that don't feed your soul. Start living for yourself. You've spent decades living for others, for your career, for your children, for your responsibilities. Now live for you. Do what you want. Enjoy what you enjoy. Live the life you want to live. Start appreciating each day. Stop wasting days. Stop moving through life without paying attention. Notice things, experience things. Live fully, appreciate fully, because these days matter. These days are your life. Live them like they matter. I know people in their 70s, their 80s, even 90s, who are living their best lives right now, not pretending, not faking positivity, actually living well, actually happy, actually engaged with life in ways they never were when they were young. They're not trying to be young, not pretending they don't have limitations, not denying aging. They've accepted it, accepted their age, accepted their bodies, accepted their stage of life. And that acceptance freed them to actually live instead of constantly fighting against reality. They do what they want, small things mostly, gardening, reading, walking, spending time with grandchildren, having coffee with old friends, simple things, but they do them fully, attentively, with appreciation, with presence, not rushing through to get to something else, not distracted, not thinking about what's next, just being there, fully there, in each moment. They don't waste time on things that don't matter. Don't stress about things they can't control. Don't worry about what people think. don't chase things they don't actually want. They know better, they've learned, they use their wisdom to live better, simpler, more focused, more real. And they're happy, not fake happy, not pretending everything is perfect happy, real happy, content, peaceful, satisfied with their lives even though their lives aren't perfect. Even though they have struggles, even though aging is hard sometimes, they've found something that makes life good despite imperfection, maybe because of imperfection. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's possible. That's what older years can be if you choose it. If you stop fighting against aging and start using what aging brings. I also know older people who are miserable, who hate being old, who resent everything about aging, who spend their time bitter, angry, focused on what they've lost, on what's wrong, on how much better things used to be. They're not enjoying anything, not appreciating anything, not living fully, just existing, just waiting, just being angry that life isn't what it used to be, that they're not who they used to be, that aging happened. And I understand that feeling too. I'm not judging. Aging is hard, loss is real, bodies fail, people die, energy decreases, life changes in ways you don't choose. I understand why people are angry about that. But anger doesn't change it. Resentment doesn't stop it. Bitterness doesn't make it better. It just makes the time you have left worse. Just makes every day harder. Just makes you miserable during years that could be good. Could be peaceful, could be satisfying if you chose differently. Every morning you wake up, you make a choice. You don't always realize you're making it, but you are. You're choosing how to see your life, how to experience your day, how to think about aging, how to live with where you are. You can choose to focus on what you've lost, on what you can't do anymore, on how much better things used to be, on how unfair aging is, on how much you wish things were different. That's one choice. It's understandable, but it makes you miserable. Or you can choose to focus on what you have, on what you can still do, on the advantages of where you are now, on accepting reality, on making the most of what is instead of mourning what isn't. That's another choice. It's harder sometimes, but it makes you happier. Both choices are available every day, every morning, every moment. You're choosing constantly whether you realize it or not. Choosing how to think, how to feel, how to live, how to experience these years. I'm not saying fake positivity. I'm not saying pretend everything is perfect. I'm saying focus on what's actually good about where you are. Use what you actually have. Live the life you actually have instead of constantly wishing for a different life. You don't have unlimited time to figure this out. You don't have decades to eventually learn to appreciate your life. Time is limited. You know this. Every year that passes is a year you didn't live fully, didn't appreciate fully, didn't experience fully, and you don't get it back. So, start now, today, this moment. Stop waiting for things to be different. Stop waiting to feel differently. Stop waiting for something to change. Just start. Start appreciating what you have. Start using your wisdom. Start living for yourself. Start making each day matter. Not perfectly, not all at once. Just start. Make small choices. Notice one thing today you appreciate. Do one thing today just because you want to. Spend time with one person you love. Experience one moment fully. That's enough. That's starting. That's choosing to make these years good instead of just enduring them. Your best years aren't necessarily over. They might be right now. They might be ahead. But only if you choose to make them that. Only if you stop fighting against aging and start using what it brings. Only if you live like these years matter, like today matters, like right now is your life, not just time you're passing through until something better comes. Something better isn't coming. This is it. This is your life, right now, today, these years. Make them good. Make them count. Make them your best years by choosing to live them fully. Share this if you're over 60 and still finding joy in life. Comment if you believe good years can still be ahead. Subscribe for messages about living well at any age.